don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you.
Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Halftime Report here with High Top Sports. An interesting start to the college game day here on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Look, got a lot to go over. The first order of business is Brock Bowers was seen limping off the field here right before halftime against Vanderbilt. Georgia's looked a little slow against Vanderbilt. If they need some advice of how to pull this off against Vanderbilt, maybe they should give Billy Napier a call. Look, Georgia was able to pull away at the end there at the half by scoring a touchdown. Up 24-7, not looking as close as it once did. I wasn't really concerned about it, but this is a massive blow for Brock Bowers to be limping off the football field. Honestly, I hate this. As much as, you never want to see anybody get injured. It is going to be a massive blow to the Georgia Bulldogs, but I was literally watching this game and watching Brock Bowers just tear at the football field. I was like, why aren't we having more of a conversation about Brock Bowers and the Heisman? And then sure enough, this injury happens here. He went to the Blue Medical tent, came out and ended up headed into the locker room. It's never good when you see a big guy like this being helped off into the locker room. Again, the biggest comparison to him is probably Travis Kelce. We saw Travis Kelce go down just a few weeks ago to the turf. Hopefully it's nothing serious. Hopefully it's more of a precautionary thing. They're not going to need him for this game. And for Georgia's good reasoning, they have Vandy, which it looks like they're going to handle with no problem. Then they have a bye week right before the Florida-Georgia game. Again, somebody who's been a blanket, who's been a huge asset to that offense, and Carson Beck. A huge blow to the Georgia Bulldogs. Again, what could it be? Something with Achilles? Could it be, is it a knee? But it looked like it was definitely lower ankle area is what it seemed to appear like. Again, those are always weird. Could it just be a quick rolled ankle? He wraps it up, takes a little shot, and he's good to go. We don't know, right? But look, if I'm Kirby, and if I just kind of get an idea of what this team's able to do and how they've looked offensively thus far and defensively, again, it is Vanderbilt. It is Vandy at noon, though. You never want to get too testy with Vandy at noon. Florida knows all too well about that. And, I would say Georgia's kryptonite's probably Vandy, too, handling Kirby a loss in his first season. They look to be handling business, though, as of now, as they roll in, going 24/7. Then we got Sam Pittman, my boy. This man, great guy. You got to love him for college football. But I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him. Look, that Florida-Arkansas game is going to be a huge one for him, I believe, especially depending on what Florida team is and where Florida is at rolling into that game. I'm obviously joking. He's not going to get fired at half. It is Alabama. But at what point do we start asking the question, what game is it? Not when, but what game will Sam Pittman's last game be? This, again, is looking like it's going to be their 5-game skid. I was a little nervous at first. Bama got off to a slow start. I've got Bama minus 19.5. So I needed them to bury Arkansas. As much as I love me some Sam Pittman, I need an absolute massacre coming out here in the second half to make sure I cover the spread of 19.5 for Alabama and the boys so I can cash that check and keep this bankroll rolling here, boys. But, man, I think that Florida game is going to be a huge one for Arkansas and Sam Pittman's livelihood, because let's take a look at their upcoming schedule here after Alabama. They've got Mississippi State at home, right? And then they have a bye week, and then they have Florida. So if they drop to Mississippi State, who has also not looked fantastic, then they follow Florida and lose to Florida. Again, we don't know what Florida team is going to be showing up. We don't know where Florida's going to be at that point. If Florida rolls into that game with only 2 losses still, then, things could be a little bit different. But then they've got Auburn. They've got a slew of games that are very winnable for them. At what point do they look at it and go, look, Pittman's not the guy. KJ Jefferson and company came in, possibly not being a Heisman favorite, but definitely in the top 10 odds of Heisman, and it just has not looked like that at all. In Arkansas, after last year, people were pretty high on them, especially how the season was last year for Arkansas. They had a pretty healthy team, and they kind of fell off. I think people had Arkansas finishing much better than what they are currently. Again, looking like going to be 2-5 at the point. If you were to say, hey, Florida at the end of today will be 5-2 and Arkansas will be 2-5, I think people might think you were crazy. But here we are. That's college football for you. So we'll see how it plays out for Pittman and Arkansas. As for the rest of around the league here at the halftime, Michigan got off kind of slow against Indiana. That spread was 33. It seemed a little dicey for me, so I stayed away from that game, but now they seem to be pulling away against Indiana. Blake Corum and the boys, again, in front of a hometown Michigan crew. You expect them to play a little bit better. Seems to be a little bit cold, but Obviously, nobody's panicking now. Again, they're pulling away just like Georgia's pulling away. Florida State, Syracuse, Keon Coleman just doing Keon Coleman things. He had himself a Ricky Pearsall catch today, a little one-handed grab, and also a touchdown for Florida State and Syracuse. I thought it'd be a little bit further along, but none other. They're still handling business. And Ohio State, Cody thought Purdue would maybe pull some little upset here against Ohio State. Ohio State has found their rhythm, especially after a slow start last week against Maryland. They're absolutely rolling on Purdue right now as they are up 20-0. Now, the 3:30 kickoff time slot is going to be massive as we go. Oregon and Washington, obviously going to be probably the game of the week. Maybe Texas A&M Tennessee could give us a run here, which comes up on at 3:30 as well, as does Florida and South Carolina. But we've got the rest of the game, honestly, I think the back half of this football schedule for today is going to be where things really thrive and really shine. As, again, we got Oregon, Washington, Tennessee, Texas A&M, Miami, UNC, and Notre Dame and USC. It's going to be a special one, as is Missouri and Kentucky. Mizzou got bumped out of the top 25 for that, and Auburn LSU. It's going to be a good day for college football, boys and girls. Happy to have all of you here for this halftime report. Be sure to smash the like button, subscribe if you're brand spanking new. Maron says Alabama lost their best wide receiver and fell off. Ohio State lost their best wide receiver and fell off. Georgia lost their best receiver and the offense won't miss a beat. No excuses around here. Next man up. That's that dog in him right there, boys and girls. Go Dogs. Let's get it, boys. Go Aggies, go Gators from M. Stafford. Leroy Strider says, how we feel about our chances on the road today? We leaving 5-2 or 4-3? Got to be 5-2. Captain Tripp says, Billy Napier has to prove he can win a game on the road in the SEC. Today is a good opportunity, and today it is a great opportunity to get it done. And Marion, look, I don't disagree with your comment there on next man up. I think Georgia's going to be just fine with Brock Bowers going down, but it's just, look, I genuinely hate it for college football. I was really going to start making the campaign for Brock Bowers to be at least considered in the Heisman conversation, but this is a bad blow. Let's see what he was at before going down. I'm pretty sure he was slicing and dicing up that defense per usual. He had 4 catches for 22 yards. Lad McConkey, I believe how you pronounce it, 84. That man's got some speed, boys. 4 catches for 58 yards, averaging 14.5. And Dominic Lovett, the transfer from Mizzou, starting to see some noise out of him. 5 catches for 48 yards and a tutty for the boys. Carson Beck, 17 of 20, 181 yards and touchdowns. Carson Beck is really starting to thrive in that role. I think Georgia is winning and has upgraded tremendously from Stetson Bennett in that quarterback role. Georgia fans may or may not agree with that, but I think he's going to be the answer long-term. Obviously, he is the answer currently, but I think you got yourself one in Carson Beck, and I don't think he's going to be your reason for concern or your reason for failure if that were to come later on this season. So how do you get your picture, Justin? I'll be sending it to you. You should have entered your email or your address on that sheet, and so I have all of that to send to you, Justin. So you'll be getting that from me over the next few days here. But yeah, we will see. We will see. If we play how we play at home against Georgia, we could win that game dead ass. All counts to if Georgia doesn't play like the gods they have been. Look, I mean, that Florida Georgia game, the reason why I play the games, boys, anything's possible. Brock Bowers going down, could that be a thing too as well? So we'll see. But hey, happy to have all of you guys here again. Smash the like button. We got 13 likes. We can get to 20 likes before we rock and roll out of here. But that is our halftime report. We're about to kick off. Alabama is kicking off now. Again, we need them to smash the cover here. Need them to cover 19.5 so I can cash out and pay for my kids' college education. So Bama, please do me a solid there and lock it in. And guys, if you got any money that is lying around, go smash that UNC versus Miami 2.5. I'm telling you right now is an absolute disrespectful to UNC to only give them 2.5-point favorites when it's at home, which is usually an automatic 3-point favorites, and they're only saying it's 2.5 against a non-nailing Miami team. Take it home, boys. Take it to the bank. You're welcome. We'll see you guys soon for the Florida-South Carolina halftime report. Good seeing you.